Right on. Oh. Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead. Thank you for joining me. And today, what is it I'm doing here? I'm smoking a little Blue Dream, and I wanted to talk about. You ever had that feeling that makes your butthole pucker? That one where right after you smoke a joint, you get a phone call, and you know you have to answer the phone call, but you shouldn't answer the phone call because you're a little too stoned. I had one of those recently. It was when I had my procedure for my twig and berries there, and I was laid up on the couch. My daughter was at school. She was doing her exams. I thought, okay, this is a good day to just have a few edibles and just chill the fuck out because I don't have anything to do other than heal. Well, you know how wrong I was? Very wrong. Because no later than the exam had ended, I didn't have to worry about picking her up. We had a friend of hers picking her up and taking her out to lunch and all that stuff. And then I get a call from the school. Now, I had dropped, or I'd had 2 gummies. They were only 10 milligrams, but they're pretty potent because they're rosin gummies, and they're really good hybrids. Anyway, the point is that I was a little bit high. I was just catching the roll of the high, where it just sort of like starts to set in. You're like, man, I'm a little bit stoned right now. And I was sitting down at the computer, and I was just doing some things that I wanted to try and figure out how to make a Shopify store. Still haven't figured it out, but I wanted to figure out how to make a Shopify store. So I'm reading about how to make a Shopify store. But then I get a phone call, and it's my oldest's high school. They're calling, and the tone of the principal, okay? I thought this girl was dead. I freaked out immediately just off tone, okay? He calls up, he goes, "Hello, can I speak to Mr. Barone, please?" "Yep, this is he." He goes, "So, I just want to tell you, we've had a bit of an incident here." And I'm sitting on the couch. Again, just keep in mind, the gummies are just starting to hit, okay? And he's saying we've had a bit of an incident, and I'm thinking my kid should just be writing her exam. She should be finished up. She should be going out to lunch. What could this fucking incident possibly be? Great, she's been hit by a bus. That's where my brain went, okay? I had no business answering this phone call, all right? I should have just left it alone. But instead, I answered the phone call. I get the terrifying news that there's something wrong with my child, and the teacher or the principal is on the other end, very calm, but like it was almost like a game show where he was taking forever to sort of spit it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, "Mr. Barone, I have Jade here in the office, and we need to talk about a thing. There's been an incident." I'm thinking, like, this kid has lost an arm. She's been hit by a bus. I don't know what's going on. He's not getting to the point. And I don't want to freak out and be like, "Get to the fucking point." You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to just, like, take a breath, let it sink in. My heart rate's up. My balls are up. I can't move. I can't go do anything about this. But, like, let's just hear what's happening. This guy repeats the same thing about 3 times, okay? "Mr. Barone, it's okay, but we've had a bit of an incident at the school, and Jade seems to be very upset." "Oh, great, my kid's fucking dead. I'm fucking high. I can't do anything about it. What the fuck is going on now?" And he goes, "But we've had a bit of an incident." I said, "Okay, well, what is the incident? I'm fucking terrified right now, so can we please just get to the point?" I didn't say that to him, but that's what I was thinking. And he goes, "So, I guess Jade had her phone in one of her exams, and it fell out of her pocket, and so now she's here talking with me about not having her phone in the exam." I'm like, oh my god. Whew. This could have been way worse. My kid is not a cheat. It was clearly an accident that she had her phone with her. I'm sure she was sidetracked. It was a science exam. It was definitely not an intentional try to cheat situation. I think what happened was she was distracted by the fact that she wasn't doing very well in science, and I can understand why they think she would cheat because she wasn't doing very well in science. She's an honor roll kid, but she wasn't doing very well in science this year. So I could see why they think she would cheat. But what happened was, I guess she walked down to hand in her exam at the end of her exam, and her pockets in her pants were a little bit short, and she went to hand in her exam, and her phone fell out of her pocket, and then bam, right away, you have to be sent to the principal's office because there's no tolerance for that kind of shit. You're not supposed to have that stuff with you. Now, I know that she knows that. I think that the principal knew that she knew that. But his delivery, dude, was terrifying. As soon as he said, Mr. Barone, we have an incident, my asshole went, nope, we're not doing this today. I was amazed I was able to shit for the next 3 days. I was so tight pucker that, like, yeah, I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to be able to poop for a while. It was terrifying. But after the conversation, and we sort of agreed that she's not a cheater, and it was probably an accident. She's too upset to be a cheat. Like, her reaction was that of somebody that was very worried about how this outcome was going to be, not somebody trying to get away with cheating. So I think he realized that that wasn't the intent, and he was going to talk to the teacher and smooth it all out. Ultimately, it ended up being fine. But dude, it just made me think of all the times where I've smoked weed and I've been sitting there chilling, relaxing, everything's going really well, and then all of a sudden you get this phone call from either like a family member, your boss, maybe it's like a credit department, I don't know. But have you ever had that where you're like balls high and then you think it's a brilliant fucking idea to be like, I'm going to answer the phone right now. Let's see what this guy has to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, those moments terrify me. You can feel your heart rate go up immediately. Your fucking stomach sinks down to the pit. Like, it's all bad. You feel like you're going to throw up. You don't know what to do. And then you're trying to answer questions, but your brain can't think. And you're working through a fog and it's not working very well. And the next thing you know, you get to the end of the conversation. You have no idea what happened. You, depending on who you talk to, you might be in shit with your parents, you might be getting fired from work, or you may have overpaid some bills or not paid any bills at all, and now they're coming to get you. Who knows? Have you ever had that scenario? Because I feel like if you're a pothead, if you smoke weed, maybe even if you drink, maybe if it's like if you drink, then you could also have that kind of feeling. But it is a terrifying feeling, man. Like, you could feel the color leave your face. Like, I go transparent when that shit happens. Like, I'm sitting on the couch, get this phone call, you can see through me. You know what I'm saying? It's bad news, man. And then I realized, as I'm having this conversation with this guy, I'm a fucking grown-up. I don't have to act like this. I'm allowed to do shit. I'm in my own house. My child is fine. I don't have to worry about this bus scenario that had played out in my head. Also, how quickly is my high brain go to, oh man, everybody's dying. Like, that says a lot about me, I think. No? It's pretty crazy. But anyway, like I said, we got it all ironed out. Ultimately, they kept the exam that she wrote. She didn't have to rewrite it. She got a bit of a lecture about, the acceptance of, or not being allowed to have a cell phone in your fucking exam. She knew better. Like I said, she just got sidetracked. She was so focused on just trying to pass the exam, I think, that all the nerves and everything took over, and she forgot she had her cell phone in her pocket. Because even I said to her when she came home that day, like, why don't you just give me your cell phone when I dropped you off? Like, you should have just handed it to me. Normally she keeps it in her bag, but she ended up forgetting to put it in her bag because, again, like, it's the worst subject she has, and she's an honor roll student, so I can understand why she might be a little bit sidetracked and a little bit worried about this kind of thing happening to her. It can affect, like, she's very much a studious kid. She wants to do well and get into university and try to get, like, a scholarship. So I could see why it would make her butthole pucker. Thank you for the relative butthole puckering of myself for that. Because, dude, that guy's delivery, it was like Unsolved Mysteries called me and was like, do you know where your child is and if they have all of their limbs? No, I do not. Apparently, I don't. And now I'm fucking terrified that they don't have all their limbs, and I don't know where they are. I thought I knew. I thought they did. Nope. But yeah, turned out fine. She wasn't under a bus, thank God. Yeah. You know what's fucking crazy? So, okay. My brain immediately in these scenarios goes to, like, the worst case scenario. Like some harm has come to somebody. They're gonna die. This is that. Like, it's just straight to death. Okay. Now, when you have a brain like that, and then you go on a trip, like this is what happened at Christmas. I went to Alberta for Christmas, and I'm already a slightly nervous flyer. Like, I don't really freak out, but there's moments where I have to close my eyes, breathe, focus on my breathing, keep myself calm, get past the anxiety and move on with the whole flight situation. Like, if there's turbulence, I'm not necessarily white knuckling it, but I'm definitely sitting in the seat with my arms crossed, trying to like hug myself and breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth, in through my nose, out through my mouth, trying to keep a baseline so I don't freak the fuck out, right? But I noticed that, because again, my brain goes to, oh, there's a bump, we're all gonna die, fuck, and then I don't want to be with my kids, looking at them, terrified and freaking out, when in their last moments, if that's gonna happen, I should be like the solstice for them, or the solace, what do you call it? I gotta be the support, the rock. Everything's gonna be fine, even if you're lying, You gotta be that, it's okay. So they stay calm, because last thing you want to do is, in a scenario like that, panic and freak out. You want those to be your last moments? No, you got to find that level of clarity, even if you're freaking out, right? So one of the things I noticed was that when we landed and we started, we got to the house, we got to my parents' house, we were hanging out. Every fucking day when I was on TikTok from that point out, it would just show planes, like videos of planes that had gone down recently. Like, what is up with that fucking algorithm? And also, why would you do that? That is not cool technology, okay? The last thing you should be doing as an algorithm is sitting there showing people the worst case scenario if you get onto a plane or a bus or a car or whatever. Like, you get off, it should be people surviving like major moments in life, like a hurricane came through and they're all cheering that they lived. Not fucking every video, I tell you, for like a week, every video I scrolled through was about a plane that crashed, an engine that blew up, something didn't get off the runway, something else landed in the fucking sea. Like, it was terrifying. All it does is amp up that anxiety. And that's what, in a couple episodes ago, I was talking about, or what I've talked about it before, where TikTok is designed to just like prey on your fear and prey on like really make you think, manipulate you into thinking something is happening that's not happening. Like, you can jump around, shake your ass to show your tits, and then make videos complaining about all that stuff and make a shit ton of money. Very few people make a lot of money off doing that, Like, even on OnlyFans, 1% of the people on OnlyFans make all of the money. That's just the way society seems to work. But in accordance with that, when they show you all these successful people, they also show you all of the most dangerous shit. So you're flying through the air thinking, hey, everything is great. You land on the ground, everything's good. You want to kiss the ground because you can't believe that you just survived whatever it is, 30,000 feet in the sky. You can see space and the earth and the ground all at the same time. And I don't care if you don't believe in space. I saw space, okay? I saw the black part and the earth part. And that is a thing. I was there. I saw it. I wasn't out of the atmosphere, but it was definitely there. And then when I land, you're going to show me nothing but planes fucking smashing into shit. I have 4 weeks at this point to just think about the idea that I have to get on another plane to get home. You know how close I was to renting a car and driving back? I would have been driving for like 3 days, okay? I was thinking about taking the train. Here's a fucked up thing. Train is double a plane. I also have 3 kids to take, and it's days and whatever, but I feel like a train should cost you less than a plane. Trains don't leave the ground. What are we talking about here? A plane leaves the ground and stays up there. Like, you would think you would pay more money so that thing stays up there. Why am I paying more money for a thing that's already on the ground? Like, back in the day, they had things that you pump and you could do the same thing. Sure, you're not going as fast as now, but you could do it. I'm just saying. It's fucking weird to me. It's weird to me that algorithms and technology show you worst case scenario on a regular basis to scare the shit out of you. When you're in like preparation mode for flying home, and they're just showing you plane crash after plane crash after plane crash. They don't even show you like Karens on a plane anymore getting people kicked off. They show you the plane crashing and blowing up. Then when we got home, all these planes just kept crashing and blowing up. Like, what is going on with the aviation industry? What's happening? Are all these things like conspiracy theories and like they're doing? Because when you talk about like the apocalypse and shit, you talk about a lot of the time events like this happening where you have people like planes crashing into the earth, like crashing into each other, crashing into the earth, crashing into the water, you know, and then you have these like cataclysmic weather events that start killing off populations, and then all of a sudden all the power goes out and everybody's fucked. That's what it looked like in January from my perspective. All we had were a slew of plane crashes that didn't make a lot of sense, not to me anyway, but then again, I didn't really investigate it. Like that one in DC where the helicopter flew into the plane. Dude, I watched that going like, how does that happen? Because when you watch the video and you listen to it, the air traffic controller clearly states to the Army helicopter, hey, you're good, or you got to bank. Do you see the plane? Bank away from it. Yeah, we see it, no problem, we'll turn away. They start to turn away. And it looked like they had plenty of time. But then when you see the radar view of it, because they show, in one of the videos, they show the actual crash, and then they show the radar on the other side of the screen. And like, you see in the radar that the plane and the helicopter, so the helicopter starts to turn first, and then the plane's going, and for whatever reason, the plane, like, seemingly turns where the helicopter's going, and kablow! It's like it looked like it was gonna happen. Like, it was meant to happen, like they were trying to do it. You know, I'm not saying that they were, I'm just saying that's how it appeared. It was just so exact, and then everybody jumps on that about, like, oh, this is it, or is it just malfunctions? I don't know, but it's fucking terrifying. To me, the thought of being in a plane and crashing or losing altitude or losing, an engine or the ability to stay up in the air terrifies the shit out of me. There's nothing more scary to me than the thought of falling. Like falling. Imagine falling. You're a bad guy in a movie, okay? And the hero is chasing you and you're an idiot, so you take a hot air balloon up to the thing, and then he grabs the rope that's anchored it down, and the good guy climbs the rope and jumps in the basket with you, and you're fighting, and then the good guy chucks you, the bad guy, out of the fucking hot air balloon, and you're just falling, whatever it is, 10,000 feet to your death. I don't know if a hot air balloon goes that high, but think about that. You're just falling. There's nothing you can do. Like, is there a certain point, because it only takes seconds, but is there a certain point where your brain just goes, hey, you know what, guys? We can't change it. It's going to suck. Just enjoy the show. And you just kind of find this calm and you just, like, let yourself fall and then, boom, that's it? Or do you panic all the way down? I think that's my second fear in this whole, like, death scenario, is the idea of panicking while you're dying. Like it really, it's really terrifying to me to think of scenarios where people torture and kill people, because not that I know what it's like, but it really worries me, or it really upsets me knowing that somebody was in such great distress in the moments before they died. I guess to me, in the concept of death, is that you should be comfortable and peaceful and sort of accepting of the scenario, right? I've been watching a lot of Vikings lately. So I don't know. I feel like in that, like, I would not be able to accept it in a plane. I think I would just panic and lose my fucking mind. Sinking in a ship, same thing. Like, I couldn't be like Jack. She couldn't be like, hey, get off my raft. And you're like, okay, enjoy the tour. Like, I'm not like that. I would throw her off the door and then take the door, because I'd be like, fuck you, bitch. I'm living. I'd panic there. If you were in space and like a spaceship fucked up and then you're just like there, I would panic. There aren't too many things I wouldn't panic in. Like in a gunfight, a fight, I probably wouldn't have time to panic because you'd be thinking about how to like not get killed. You know what I mean? Like there's a way out of that stuff. But I'm talking like the sub that went down to, or the Tupperware container that went down to the Titanic with what was it called? Sequest or whatever the fuck they were called. And they imploded on themselves. Like just being in that and hearing like a pop or a hiss for the first time, I would be panicking the entire time until I popped like a pimple. I would be fucking terrified. I would never go in there because like, you gotta be kidding me. I would never, you couldn't get me in a submarine if you fucking tried, dude. Which is weird because like an airplane is basically a sky submarine. It just can't stay up there forever. Like how long can a sub float around before it has to come back for like gas and shit? You know? Because like a plane, you can only fly it so far before you can't hover. Like you can't stay in the air and just be like, okay, so we're just gonna, for our vacation this year, we're taking a flight to hovering over top of Guatemala and we're gonna stay in an airplane for a couple weeks, and yeah, we're gonna hover in the sky over here. Like, no. But you could take a sub and be like, well, not that you would, but I'm just saying, you could take a sub and you could be like, okay, we're gonna go to like the center of the Pacific Ocean and we're gonna see what we can find, and we're just gonna hang out inside this tube for like a couple weeks, and like we should be good. We'll see you when we get back. You know? Can't do that with a plane, and a plane is an air sub. They submerge themselves in low oxygen air. That's right, atmosphere sub. I realize that that's stupid. I think the blue dream is kicking in. But yeah, it was kind of like, I couldn't believe that my fucking algorithm started showing me plane crashes literally the entire time I was gone, knowing that I'm going to have to get on a fucking plane and come back. Like, do you know how much worse the ride home was? Because I didn't really think about it when we left. I only kind of like, I thought about it when we came home though, because everything that was on my fucking TikTok feed before that was a bird flying into an airplane and, you know, like an airplane nose diving into a runway. Like, ugh. And then there was I think it was a Taiwan airplane, a bird flew into it, blew it up. It was literally landing. And it fucking lands and like it made no sense, you know? And then there was the one recently where a couple weeks ago, I guess, where it was like I think it was a Russian flight, or at least the flight was, it had the Russian figure skaters on there. That was the one with the helicopter, I think, where they collided and everybody died, unfortunately. Dude, all those videos were, why algorithm? Why? Like, why do people put that shit up there? I've also noticed on like Twitter and shit, there's a lot more videos about, like murder. Like, where did that fucking come from? My whole feed used to be nothing but like stupid weed smoking videos, maybe the occasional like comedy sketch, and I don't know. Like that was basically it. And now all of a sudden it goes it goes South American hookers killing dudes for their wallets, porn, some weed stuff, a couple comedy videos, a Red Man video, porn, and then more killing things. Like Twitter's fucked. It's I think it's more Wild Westy than it was before. Oh, but you want to know something? Okay, so I learned something new. This is very much like the news, so. Did you know that the reason that Twitter and now Meta have decided to do the whole notes space, or the notes portion of the platform, is so that they don't have to do fact checking? Like, so I was listening to an interview with Mark Zuckerberg, and he was saying that the reason that Meta did notes was so that was because the algorithm itself had some very like minute flaws in removing people from platforms who weren't necessarily giving disinformation, but because the way the algorithm was set up, some people like that were losing their accounts, and they shouldn't have been. So instead of having an inaccurate algorithm that was determining who could use the platform, they decided that they were going to take away the fact-checking portion of that part of the program, right? So now what that means is that it's like the Wild West. You could say whatever the fuck you want, but the point of notes is that the people on the internet, because they did find that people are much better and quicker and more accurate at fact checking their peers. Okay, so instead of leaving it up to an algorithm to sort through and figure out and guess at, the note system is so that your peers can essentially edit your work, edit your online posts, right? And what it does is it actually, I guess, translates into a much more accurately, informative platform, I guess, because I guess you can design shit to get through the algorithm, but it's really hard to design shit to get through people, because people are so adamant about truth and so adamant about this is right and this is wrong that within minutes, I would say, you can on Twitter or on Meta, you can see when somebody puts up some misinformation, how quickly the real information is posted next to it. You know, and then that one is discredited or confirmed, depending on which way it goes. But, like, that's fucking fantastic, no? I get why people would be like, oh my God, they're not going to fact check shit. It might be a good idea not to fact check shit. Because think about it. We didn't have these, like, crazy back and forth, we didn't have this shutting off of opinion before we started to enact these algorithms that would determine whether or not what you said was actually acceptable. And up until the point where we started instituting these algorithms that would decide whether or not the post you put on a platform was acceptable, that started to all of a sudden create this divide, I think. And then it went that way for a long time, because there's a lot of shit that I could not post. And, like, I'm an idiot, okay? When I try to post stuff, I suck at it. I don't know how to use social media very well. I do my best, but, like, realistically, sometimes my fat hands fuck shit up. So I have to, like, I'll put up a post and notice there's a spelling mistake. I'll do that 4 times in under 5 minutes. Well, that's a robot thing, apparently. I'm not a robot. I'm bionic, but I'm not a robot. Okay? So, like, it was very frustrating for me, because I'm like, I'm not trying to fuck with anybody. I just can't type. My hands suck. Okay? And I don't know how to use social media. So fuck you. All right? I'm 43 and I'm a moron. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You have to give me some leeway here. But because the algorithm determined that, now all of a sudden my accounts get flagged and everything, and posts get questioned, and it's not really any of that shit. And now, with the removal of that concept, you are going to be fact checked by your peers. So if you say some outlandish shit about some political figure or about anybody, if you say any kind of offside shit, the idea and the theory is that the internet will come and sort it all out. You know, just like Wyatt Earp came into town and was like, fuck all you bitches, I'm taking everything. And then the law would come in and be like, no, you're not. And then I don't know how it works. I'm just trying to make an analogy that doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. Just bear with me here. But yeah, I think that could be a good thing, but it definitely opens the door for a lot of shit that I don't think people are ready to see, man. Like, it used to be when you wanted to see somebody like Faces of Death, you had to order that video. Now you just turn on Twitter and you're like, wow, that guy just got shot in the face and that guy just got fed to a lion. Oh, cool. Oh, that chick's sucking a dick. Like, you know, you don't know what you're going to get. But I guess it's an easier way or a better way of having the overall information that's out there be as accurate as possible. I mean, people are really adamant about, like, if you watch any of those documentaries on Netflix, like Don't Fuck with Cats or You Don't Fuck with Cats, whatever that is, where people hunt down like serial killers online. I mean, that's a dedicated group of people, and they're all over the place for multiple different things. Like, that's a good thing, because that's the way our society is going. Our society is not going to backtrack on technology. So when it comes to technology, we really should have and allow ourselves to maybe not police it, but definitely have a direct influence on, on whether or not the ideals that are being put out there are accurate. For sure. I think we're capable of doing that as a society. I think that a lot of people are capable of understanding and learning what is right, what is wrong, and what is telling the what is bad information and what is really pushing a specific agenda, you know? So I think it's good. But stop showing me fucking plane videos of videos of planes crashing. Videos of birds. I don't want to see that shit. I get it. Okay? Planes can blow up. And there's a lot of room for human error. I used to drive heavy equipment. You can hit a wall very easily. And I imagine it's similar with a plane if you're not really doing what you're supposed to do. But as a passenger, I don't need to know that. It's like, if I'm going to go driving, right? Like, if I'm driving my family from point A to point B and it's a long drive, I want them to feel 100% confident that nothing can happen. You know? I don't want them to start watching fucking highway crash videos. That's stupid. Then you're going to have knuckle biters all the way down there, wherever you're going. So yeah, the idea of like being scared out of your mind, sometimes it feels good to be scared because it sort of like puts shit in perspective. And there's a time and place for everything, right? So sometimes it's good to have your butthole puckered. Just makes you feel a little bit more alive, like you did something worthwhile. You know what I mean? And I think that it keeps life in perspective when shit like that happens. I think we're all lucky to have that feeling. But if you're a principal and you're calling a father or a parent, okay, about a cheating scenario, let's try not to make it sound like the person that you're about to tell us about is dead, okay? Because that's fully what I got. If I'm flying on a plane, I don't want to see videos of planes fucking nosediving, okay? I don't want that shit. So fact check that motherfucker, okay? I don't want to spend 4 weeks half terrified that the next plane I might get on might just decide that it can't fly properly. No, thank you. All right? That's all I'm saying. There's a time and place for fear. Fear can be good to motivate, to put things in perspective, but at the same time, if you don't have to be a fear to anything, let's not force it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's it. Those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. Thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead. I hope you come back next week. Check out tots420.com for some blog posts, all the spots for all the links to episodes. Check out the YouTube page. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to Spotify, whatever podcast platform you're listening to it on. Subscribe there. Go to YouTube, and there's a couple playlists. So if you're looking for the strains that I smoke in the episodes, I mentioned them, but I've decided to not really talk about them on the podcast. I mean, if something's very notable, I will. But for a strain review, I'm doing them separately. So they'll be on my YouTube channel, Thoughts Off the Stem, on the, what's it called? Oh my God, I can't think of the name of it. On the playlist, the playlist is called, there we go. The playlist is called Sunday Strain Review. That's where all the reviews for the stuff that I smoke on the podcast, use on the podcast. They'll be there. So subscribe, check it out, go to tots420.com, and until next time, keep your lids low, baby.
Off this damn friend a neighborhood party.